Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Junk Journal January here at Studioloo. We are on day number 14 and our prompt is pattern. So we're going to start the day with tea. We're going to go back into the David's 24 trips with tea calendar. We're on day 9. So I'll just pull this out because it's hard to fit this giant calendar up here. So day number 9, what do we have? Brazilian mate. Okay. An energizing green yerba mate that's grown surrounded by the lush native forests and wildlife of Brazil. Okay. So let's see. Yep. Very green. Smells nice. That's such a nice tea. It's very like, it almost looks like cracked up leaves. It's just a very simple looking tea. Okay, so we will just let that do its thing for a little bit and then we'll jump into the project. Alright, so to get started, I think I'm going to use up this bit of leftover folder that I have to create the tag base shapes. Just on a using it up kind of campaign right now. I was talking to Mary Ellen at Red Parrot and Shell at Shell's Creative Cast the other day about how we all seem to be in a use it up mode, and we were theorizing different reasons that might be. Alright, so I'll make 2 tags for this video, and what I want to do first is cover them with a bit of this. This is like coffee dyed composition book kind of paper. And it turned out really interesting, like the print of it really bled around, which is really cool. Where is my, oh here it is, my glue stick. So we'll just glue stick over this. Some background. I mean, pattern is a really open concept kind of prompt, right? Let's cut this excess off. One backing, and then the second one. Will this glue stick make it through? We'll see. I need to get a new glue stick. I'll just use my spreader here and grab a little of the glue, and then we'll spread it with this palette knife. Here we go. Okay. So now we have these 2 rectangles, And I'm going to leave them in rectangle for now, and then I will come back and trim them up after I apply the pattern to them. So what I want to use today for pattern is actually two different punches that I have. They're both like a label kind of punch, and they're these two designs. So let's get started on the first one. With the first punch, we'll use the bigger. Then I'm just going to grab a handful of scraps here. Okay. So we're looking for things that have a pattern on them that we can then punch shapes out of. Okay, so there's some. It's a great way to use up old scraps. Some eco dyed paper, not quite big enough. Get in there. It's just big enough. There we go. What else do we have? Oh, that's quite nice. Alright, that should be enough to get us going. So then what I'm going to do is use my art glitter glue to just get started here, creating a pattern. I think I'll overhang it slightly. Try to make it a little bit geometric. We'll start that one off with just half on because this one goes half off. It's creating like tiles basically. It's very early this morning. I was the only creature stirring until my daughter woke up, so she's hanging out here. It's very quiet this morning. I'm wondering if it's going to be very cold today. Thinking I'll go outside for a bit. We did not go out yesterday much, just a little bit, because it was just very, very cold. And I also don't enjoy being out. The roads are in great shape now, though. I don't enjoy being out when it's snowy and blustery. But it might be nice to just go for a walk somewhere where it's nice and snowy but calm and quiet. Okay. We need a couple more of these. One. Is that big enough? Let's see. Maybe just. Oops. Okay, so there we go. We have some pattern going on. So then I'll come around and just snip the edges of this. Okay, and then we'll decide which way we want this to go, which is the right side up. I think this. We can decide on what length we want it to be as well, if it's a little too long maybe. There we go. So that is the first one, and I will go ahead and stitch around that afterward. But what I'm going to do now is just sort of toss these scraps aside here. I need to start punching a few of the smaller bits for the second tag. So I have a little bit of a collaged piece here. I'm going to see if I can punch it. I can. Good. Okay. That's a fun scrap. Grab a couple of these. 1, 2, 3. Okay, a few more, Because I know this is a smaller little one. Okay, let's get started with this one. Super simple but fun little technique, I think. Great for using up scraps. Have to figure out if I'll be able to get a fifth one. Does not look like it. So we'll have to make that tag a little thinner. So I'm just going to go in 4 rows. Although I could offset. Yeah, let's try that, and then we don't have to trim it again. So just go back and forth, leaving the gap on either side. My house feels almost too quiet today. I feel like I'm more conversational when there's a bit of background noise. Although I'm sure that my dogs will be waking up very soon. And I think I might make some nice Swiss chard for breakfast this morning with some brie. Probably eggs and something else. Maybe sausage and pancakes for the kids. Okay. We're almost there. Was watching the Tim Holtz video last night with the new scorched timber, or I think it's scorched timber color. Looks like a nice rich deep brown color. I think that one will make me pick it up. Although he says it's the very last color that he's going to make, which is interesting. It's a palette of 72 apparently. I do not have anywhere near that many ink colors. I don't think I necessarily need them. I think I'm not so, I don't know, the subtleties of color, I think I don't need such a vast amount. But I do have quite a few of them. And then the other thing about it is that the oxide and the ink are totally different products. So then you have to think, if you are getting them, do you want to get both? I prefer, like, well, I mean, I like them both, but I think they both have very different uses to me. Like, I find the ink to be more good for inking edges and things, and the oxide is great for mixed media, and I like the oxide because of the color changing sort of properties that it has. But also when I was listening last night to him, I was thinking about how he said, you know, that they weren't permanent inks, and that statement kind of, I don't know how it made me feel. I sort of thought, like, you know, archival is what I think he's referring to in terms of, you know, they're not archival permanent ink. But then I was thinking about, like, you know, how non-permanent are they? What does that mean? So, I'd hate to think that, like, you know, you go to all the work of creating something and then in not too much time it might fade. I don't know. I'd have to do a test, but I'm not so committed. Oops. That one popped right into the recycle bin. Okay, one more. Okay. Now we need to cut this into a tag. All right, then let's just clear the clutter, pull the tag out of the scraps here. So here's what we have, and I am going to stitch around them, but I think what I want to do first is put my glue away. And then I want to smell the tea. Oh, very green, yes, yes. I'm going to go ahead and pour it. Alright, now I'm going to go stitch around these and I will be right back. Alright, so these are all stitched around and I really like how they turned out. I think that they're just great on their own. I don't feel like I need any kind of a focal point. I also like the texture of the paper that's raised up on the surface. So yeah, they're just a great, simple, and fun tag. So that's it for me today, and I hope you enjoyed, and maybe give this a try with your punches or your shape makers and see what you can make with your scraps. So until next time, I will talk to you. Have a great day. Bye for now.